Hey everybody, welcome back. Thanks for being here. Hi to my new subscribers. And I just got done listening to the podcast for episode 11, The Heart Brings You Back of season 2. And I totally forgot how much pops off in this episode. A lot happens here. And they had a lot of really good insight on the podcast and just different angles and perspectives of everything that does transpire. It was really interesting to listen to. So as always, I recommend it. Another great episode. So I'm just going to jump right in because this episode has so much going on. Poor Lucas seeing Brooke kissing Felix, but the quote he says about being lonely alone is inexcusable or something like that. It's like, I know Joy really liked that on the podcast. But they do make a good point. Every time it rains in One Tree Hill, it seems to be like a really kind of heavy episode. I do remember watching this episode the first time around and even the second time, because it had been such a long time since the first time watching it. And seeing Haley on the bus with Chris, I think my heart stopped. Like, really? And then, but just the fact that she kisses him always really irks me. And I get it, but then I'm just like, no. And then, Chris is all like, you're not ready. And it's like this kind of very undertone guilt moment. I'm just like, oh, I hate when guys do that. Karen's reaction when Deb admits that she did sleep with Keith, it's so compounded, and I never really made the connection the way they did on the podcast about how, that was like, gee, Dan left me for you all those years ago, or chose you over me, and then, oh, Keith slept with you too. And even though I don't want to be with him, he was my, friend. He was a friend. He was my person, whatever. And I never really made that connection prior to the podcast. So it was, like I said, lots of insight. Taylor. Oh my God. When she's bending over and Nathan sees her tattoo on her backside and she's like, you want to grab that? And he's like, what? That was funny. She's like, my suitcase. Girl, you don't know. I am going to say, though, the sexuality with Taylor in her wet shirt and the nipplage happening there. And then we see, Jake walking in and the thunder behind him. Very cinematic moment. And then, of course, Rick is like, high school girls. It's like, oh, get out of here, you freak. I do have to wonder how Jake knew exactly where Peyton was in that moment, though. TV magic. Oh my God. Talk about the worst time to have issues with your spouse when your crazy sister's there, too. We got to stick together. We're going to survive Hurricane Taylor after Haley telling Nathan Chris left town. Anna calling Lucas an asshat. I think he deserved it in that moment, personally. Okay, so am I the only one that always kind of thought Lucas running back after Brooke was kind of like, either I screwed up and I want you back, or I want what I can't have? I don't know. Oh, Karen's just having a bad go of it this episode. I mean, she finds out from Deb that she did sleep with Keith, and then now she calls Andy, and some other chick answers the phone saying, oh, he bought us both the same phone. Awkward. And then Deb shows up at, the worst time. Hey, are we going to talk? No, not really. Lucas is always getting the tea, I swear, because then he sees Jules' phone ringing, and it says Dan Scott, and he's like, and now Jules is hired to work at Trick as the bartender. Damn, Jules lied so smoothly when Lucas asked her about that phone call from Dan. I was like, top-notch lying, acting, whatever. Oh my God, I totally forgot that Jake saw Haley kissing Chris when he got off the bus. And then he told Peyton. Oh my God, yeah. I remembered that Nathan had sex with Taylor, but I forgot that it was his first time. What? Oh man. And then just like the ribbing that like Lucas gives him, and that whole scene is great. Oh my god, Felix paying the maitre d' on dare night, so Brooke really didn't have to dine and dash. It's like, I'm full of surprises. You're full of something. Brooke called that. Oh my god, when Taylor's like, I still can't believe my little sister snagged such a hottie to Nathan. I usually get them first. And he drops the beer. Ooh. Yeah, Felix telling Brooke that he'll take care of her. He's with her now. It's just the way he says it. It's like, poor Anna reading the room wrong. Peyton's like, it's cool, but that's not my thing. And Anna runs away again, always running away. She's so scared and it sucks. But yeah, it's definitely something that I feel like the head runners of the show definitely just wanted two girls kissing. Anna telling Peyton that when Peyton says we can still be friends, right? And Anna's like, no, I don't think I can. I don't know if I can do that. It's like the shock on Peyton's face is real. Like you feel that moment because it's like, girl, like I agree with what Peyton said to Anna. Don't be afraid to be who you are. Bravo to Taylor's ability to get a guy wet in the ocean, saying, oh, it's a wedding tradition to everyone get in the ocean and take a bath. But shouldn't the bride be there? And like Nathan didn't even catch that. Just when I think Felix might be a decent person, he pulls the Dan card pretty much and ups the asshole ante. That whole fight between him and Lucas, and then like Lucas actually getting hurt. It's like, great. Tell me, does that make you feel like a man? Does it? So of course Taylor remembers that, she slept with Nathan, and I kind of hate that, Taylor is like trying to basically sleep with her sister's husband. It's like, yeah, you're not a good female, not a good sister. Like in that moment, it's just like, ugh. I always do like Jake and Peyton's relationship, but I always kind of also felt like they were never in the exact right place to be together. Maybe a different time it would have worked, but I don't know. It always just didn't feel completely right between them either. But their friendship was golden. Andy gets shot down, but you know what? In that moment, I totally can understand why Karen would be like, you know what? No, we're not doing this. Even in a moment of strife, Haley always has this amazing ability to communicate very clearly, and she's just like, we have to stop this, and I don't trust my sister, and I don't want to lose you. It's very precise communication, and I really love that about her. Oh man, Brooke taking a stand, breaking up with Felix's money, and then he's all like, just stay the night with me just to sleep. I mean, it's like he does have these moments of like seemingly genuine care for her, but it's just like, it is very Dan-esque. Like ever since I said that on the other podcast a while back, I just cannot get it out of my mind. Felix is very like Dan. Jake and Peyton's little talk about how she's saying you don't have to worry about me, but what if I want to? Lucas, like being Mr. Investigator over here, checking Jules out on her story with the dealership and the credit check that didn't happen. So she actually tells him the truth. And he's just like, oh my God. That Dan hired her to make Keith fall in love with her and then break his heart. Aw, Jake's all like, I want to be with you. Let's go bring Ginny home. I'm tired of running and just Peyton just looks like she just lit up like a Christmas tree. Oh my God, the whole Nathan keeping Taylor's secret about being kicked out of school and, Taylor basically keeping the secret that they slept together. And now it's like, here comes Haley trying to get Taylor out so she can save her marriage. And then Nathan's all like, no, she has to stay. She's family. And it's like this united front. And you just see the betrayal in Haley's face. Like, you're choosing my sister over me. And it's just like, oh my God. I love that Andy took that time in his class to tell a very painful story for himself and an embarrassing one, a shameful one. as a way to express to Karen what she wouldn't listen to the other day. It's like, wow, dude. And then Karen forgives Deb because Deb's all like, I can have the lawyer write up the papers to dissolve our partnership if that's what you want. It's not. Just don't lie to me again, Deb. Famous last word. Anna having her revelation, admitting that she likes girls and guys too to Lucas, and him being supportive. And then she's all like, oh, and I know you like Brooke. And he's like, I thought I was cooler than that. Well, apparently not. Peyton and Jake. I mean, I do agree that their relationship was good at that time. You know, they kind of needed that at that time for each other. But like for the long term, I never really saw it. Brooke and Felix, I guess, you know, Brooke kind of needed that too because she was so hurt by Lucas. And then, of course, you know, Andy and Karen, they're adorable. Lucas was so going to go tell Keith, and then there sits Jules, and she's like worried, and then he's like, nah, I'm going to leave. And she's like, huh. Taylor is such a bad sister. She's sitting there trying to flirt with Nathan, and thank God Nathan was like, turned to Haley. Do you need some help? That was like the best thing ever. Okay, so that's it for this wild episode 11. The heart brings you back, and that was definitely the theme. So we will see what happens next week. I hope you enjoyed. If you did, feel free to like and subscribe. I will see y'all next week, or whenever they put out a podcast, because they didn't put one out last week.